Hello, my family. Here is the new hydroponic growing system I was gifted from my auntie and uncle. It is model number ID1001 by Suncoze. I'm really excited to have this little garden in my home so I can grow all kinds of fresh fruits and veggies and other herbs. So come along with me as I get it set up and start some new growth in the house. This is one of the larger systems like this, as it does have 20 slots to fill, so I can grow up to 20 different fruits and vegetables in it. And it does have an automatic timer and notification system at the top that tells you when it needs water or food, or to make sure that the plants are getting the nutrients that they need. So that's pretty cool. And I'm excited to see how quickly these hydroponics grow over traditional soil. Not only can you grow fruit and vegetables, you can also grow flowers in this, which is really cool. And I'm looking forward to being able to try that in the near future. But for now, I'm going to do a variety of vegetables and fruits and see how quickly they grow to get an idea of how this all works. This kit is supposed to come with everything that you need to grow your garden. The only thing it does not come with is, of course, the water that you need to fill the base with, and also the seeds that you're going to plant. So those you will need to get on your own, but everything else is included, including those labels there to mark what you're growing, because if you're anything like me, I tend to forget. I think I'll remember, but life gets busy, and so but this is an inclusive kit here. So I'm just unboxing everything, getting things in place ready to start gardening. I had read the directions prior to filming this, and it seemed so simple. I decided to just go with it and see if I could put it together off of memory. So that is what I'm doing here, just taking each piece, and as we go, putting it where I remember it said it needed to go. So it does extend up to 24 inches of growing height. So that's nice. There's a lot of these countertop units that only go up to 12 inches or a foot. So, this one's cool because it does extend up to that 24-inch mark, allowing you to grow bigger plants right there before you move them. And when I took the light part, this is the light part, and I went to connect it, I realized I had the extension bar in backwards. There is only one way it can fit together. So this is just me realizing that I have the bar on backwards. Checking myself and referring to the manual to make sure that I'm not completely wrong on how I'm doing this. So, and there we go. And once I had it in the correct way, it was very easy to set down in there. So just make sure you're not forcing anything, as the parts do click together very easily. I was so not expecting to receive this gift from my family, but they could not have chosen better. My aunt and uncle know especially the things that I enjoy, and this design is so beautiful. There you'll see the plug-in, the power plug, but I really enjoyed gardening. Once I moved, I definitely did not have any outdoor area to garden, so this was a great alternative for me to still have that fresh food to enjoy. Plus, just having green life in your home is, for me, something that's really beautiful and encouraging and uplifting. So, I am really looking forward to see this garden grow. So I kind of referred back a little bit, but then I got so excited and decided we needed water. So I went ahead and grabbed the jug that I had and went to fill it up, and quickly realized that I certainly did not have enough water to fill the tray. So I used what I had, and definitely saw that it was not enough to really start my garden. So I went to the store and came back and finished filling it up. Now, I did use about 5 liters of water in this particular garden. So it changes over here in a second, and finished filling it up. I've seen some different reviews on what kind of water to use. I definitely didn't use tap water. I understand you can. You want to leave it set out for like 24 hours before using it. But, and I have seen some people say distilled water. I chose spring water. That's just what I drink here at the house. So I just went ahead and bought what I drink myself. If it's good enough for me, surely it's good enough for my plants. So I just went ahead. Like I said, I used about 5 liters of water, and that will be important when you're adding your nutrient later. But for now, I'm just getting out these trays and putting the legs on them, and these will actually sit on top to hold the cones. So I'm just assembling that now. And you can see here, I put it in the wrong place first, but no worries. It's very self-explanatory. There's only one way that these covers can fit in. So it's just making sure that you get them in the right space, in the right direction, fits in perfectly. There's also a fill line in the front of these that will tell you the max water that you need. So it's all basic direction. Very easy, very self-explanatory. So, and you'll see me here just showing the grow height that you can have. It just kind of moves straight up, learning how that bar works there. And very good growing area from this setup. So I was really impressed with that. Then I remembered that I needed some water to put the cones in, not the plastic cones, but the cocoa core cones that it comes with. You do need to let those set for about 5 minutes to allow them to saturate some water, so there will be plenty of hydration for the seeds to take sprout in. So I just got a bowl here, and then I'm going to put those cocoa core cones down in that water to go ahead and absorb some moisture so that they will be ready to sprout the seeds. And at this point, I'm not even sure what I'm going to plant. I've got a variety of seeds, but I'm trying to count how many of these coco cores I'll need. The kit comes with these little covers that you can put on the holes that you're not going to use yet. Like I said, this garden has 20 spots that you can fill, but it comes with 6 covers. So you probably need to grow 14 plants if you're going to use all of your covers. So I think I ended up changing at the end to where I only used 4 covers. I held those for some other plants that I'm going to do soon. But for now, I went ahead and put those in there. I think I did 12 at first and added 2 more later. So trying to decide where I want them. Not really sure how I want to organize this garden. So just playing with those a little bit and figuring out how I'm going to set this up without even knowing what I'm going to grow fully. I do have lots of the seeds out there. I know I'm going to do cucumbers and lettuce. But then I wasn't really sure what other plants I was going to grow with my variety. So this is me just putting the plastic cones in all the open spaces there. And then I will go ahead and put the coco core cones in those once they've had a little time to absorb some of that water. How many did I do? I forgot. So at this point, I decided I need to get my seeds out and see what I was going to grow. So cucumbers, love those. So that had to be first. And of course, lettuce, so I can make all the good salads. I had some wildflower variety mixes, zucchini. I believe there's some asparagus. And I ended up not planting that this time. So I might do that on another go round. Now, this system probably would not be good for carrots or beets, but there are still plenty other varieties that you can grow. So this was just an herb variety that I had. I believe that there's chives and dill, parsley, oregano. So I will definitely be using those. And I quickly realized that I needed to make sure I labeled this as I went because I would not remember. There's just too many options, too many varieties to remember what is where. So at this point, I felt like my cocoa was good, and I just went ahead and started filling in all the plastic cones with the coco. I didn't really think about it at the time. It might have been helpful to turn the power back on sooner than I did, but you live and learn. So wasn't an issue when I was doing this part, but as you're planting your seeds, it may be helpful to have that light on so you can see, because they do tend to be very small and it can be difficult to make sure that you've got them in the right spot. And because I do eat so many cucumbers and use it for so many things, I did decide to use 3 of my cones for cucumber. So I'm just putting the seeds in now. I'm trying to make sure I get them down in the little hole that's in the coco core. And that way they will sprout nicely.
shoot, I didn't put the nutrients in.
So I realized I forgot to do the nutrient. Oops. But I've already started planting now, so I'm like, okay, we'll get to that before it's done. It's all good. Got so excited, I wanted to go ahead and put the domes on them so that they could, start to sprout. Realized I probably need to do my labels first, and then the dome goes on top of the label. So I'm just labeling for my cucumbers now, and I will put those stickers on and then the domes back on over those. On these labeling stickers, there's like a small little cutout circle. And I think maybe you can put it on there with it on there, but I just felt like that small center circle needed to be removed, and that way I could see when the plant has sprouted, and hopefully with that dome on there creating the moisture, that it would sprout just fine. So from what I've read, that's the way you're supposed to do it. We will find out soon enough. And you'll see I'm having so much fun planting. Instead of doing the nutrient, I went right into my lettuce and started that same process. And I did not realize how extremely small lettuce seeds are. So, like, oh my goodness. But I am so excited to have lettuce in my garden. I haven't grown lettuce before, and it is one of the quickest turnarounds. So I'm excited to have some, hopefully, maybe by Thanksgiving or a little bit after anyway. But it was here that I, looking back, realized that I should have had that light on so I could more easily see and make sure they were exactly where they needed to be to sprout well. But I'm just making sure to label these as I go, and that way I don't forget what I've put where. And as with the cucumbers, I also did 3 of the lettuce plants. So hopefully I'll have a good harvest. And then it was on to the zucchini. So I planted a couple of these. And so I'm just going to add those to that coco core, making sure that they get down there in that small little hole that is kind of placed there for them to go down into. And again, it would have been much easier with the light on, but the zucchini seeds were a decent size, so it wasn't so difficult with this one. And then I'm going to, of course, label those also. So now I'm on to the set of herbs that are going to go in the garden. I start with parsley, but when you do this, you want to use just a seed or two. You can put a few extras in there to make sure they sprout good. But if you do this when they do sprout, you're going to want to go through and prune out all but one plant because the root system is confined under the base. And so you don't want that to get too crazy down there. You want to just have the one plant so that it can grow and produce successfully. And again, these seeds are very, very small, so the light definitely would have been helpful. But nonetheless, I believe that I was able to get those where they needed to go to be able to sprout. And again, just ensuring that I label them as I go so I don't forget what I have where. And that little circle in the sticker was stuck in this one, so I went ahead and removed it so that they were all the same. And I'm just going to repeat these steps for every spot until they are all full. So I'm not sure if I can fast forward through this or if you guys want to watch, but I'll see how good I am with technology and being able to do that. But again, just placing the seed, labeling, and then putting the dome over the top. So I finally got wise and decided to turn my light on, and that helped a lot. So now that I can see, I continued on with the plantings. Some of them were so small that it was easier to just pour them right into the cone there. So I did find that a little helpful. And then I can always go back in once they sprout and prune out any extra plants that come up. When I dropped this seed in, it did not go in the cocoa core. It went down in the side of the plastic cone. So I was able to take that out and get it in the correct place. So still simple. You can't really go wrong with it. That's the beautiful thing about gardening. Even if you mess up, it's okay. It can be fixed. Not all is lost. So there were still 2 herbs that I wanted to plant in here. So I went ahead and put 2 more of the cocoa cores into the water to start absorbing that. And I'm going to let them soak for a few minutes and then plant those last 2 herbs I wanted in this garden. So just going to kind of clean up the area a little bit and remove those covers, get my plastic cones into place, and let those soak really good for a few minutes. Oh, the dreaded calculation of nutrients. So this was actually way easier than what I thought it would be. So I just wanted to read and make sure I did it correctly. So really all you do is remove both the caps from the bottle, fill the bottle with water, put your caps back on, shake vigorously until they have dissolved. And then you're going to remove the twist off cap that's got your measurement on it and just fill it up and then pour it into the basin. As I said before, I had about 5 liters of water in my basin, so I used 25 milliliters of each nutrient in this mix. And again, I wanted to be sure, especially since this was my first time, that I was doing it correctly. So just making sure how much water you put in the basin with how much nutrient you put in. So 5 liters of water, double checking how much water I put in, how much was in each gallon. So calculating how much nutrient I need to be putting in there. So the chart did say for 5 liters of water, 25 milliliters of each nutrient, just making sure I have it all dissolved in there really good. and then I'll go ahead and start measuring out. So these little measuring cups are just 15 milliliters. So I'm going to do 15 the first time and then go back and do 10 milliliters the second time and just pour them straight into the basin. And you'll see here with Nutrient B, I did not shake it as much as I did the other one. And so as I poured it out, there was still lots of chunks left in it. I thought maybe it just didn't dissolve like the other one, but looking back, I did not shake it enough. So no big deal, just poured it back in there and gave it another good shake. And then when I poured it out, it went fine. And now that my last two cocoa cores have had plenty of time to saturate, I'm going ahead and add in these last two. And then this thing should be ready to start growing. So just adding the last two seeds, and then we'll label those also and put their domes on. And this should be ready to start sprouting. So now that I have all my seeds planted, I'm going ahead and lowering the light. And on top is the mode setting and the timer. And I'm leaving it to the auto timer settings, which is 18 hours on, 6 hours off. But the two modes are flower and vegetable mode. So I went ahead and switched it over to the veggie mode and making sure that there's nothing else that I need to do before I leave it to start. So this was so simple to set up, even though I had lots of different varieties. Variety is the spice of life, and I cannot wait to try them from my home garden. So thank you guys for watching, and we will check back in when they sprout and see how they grow. I'm looking forward to it.